4 minutes. Just 4 minutes. What would you think if I told you that right now, in this very moment, you are standing in front of a door that has the power to completely transform the course of your life and deliver you to the dream you have longed for but could never quite reach? You don't need hours of daily meditation to open this door. You don't need to cover your walls with affirmation papers, or turn to shamanic rituals, or spend your days craning your neck toward the sky, waiting for signs from the universe. The only thing required is that you close your eyes and perform one simple act. An act that is already encoded within the deepest layers of your soul, hidden in the very genetic architecture of your being, even if you have never been consciously aware of its existence. What I am about to share with you is not a fairy tale. This is a scientific and mystical truth, one that has withstood the test of time, illuminated the darkest corridors of the human mind, and was bequeathed to us by one of the founding fathers of modern psychology, Carl Gustav Jung. This is a truth that has rewritten the destiny of thousands of human beings across generations. Carl Jung was not merely a psychiatrist or a scientist. He was an alchemist of the human soul. He was a sage who could perceive the invisible behind the visible, the meaning concealed within matter itself. Throughout his entire life, Jung defended one foundational conviction: reality is not what you believe it to be, a series of external events crashing into you from the outside, independent of who you are and what you carry within. While working in his stone tower on the shores of Lake Zurich, Jung discovered something that fundamentally shakes the assumptions most people live by. Every desire you hold, every longing that lives within you, these have already manifested on the psychic level. They have already occurred. You simply have not yet entered the frequency, the specific state of consciousness that allows you to experience that reality as your own. And if you listen to me right now with your full and genuine attention, and if you apply the 4-minute method I'm about to share, you will have the opportunity to prove this truth to yourself directly in your own life, without anyone else's permission or validation. Are you ready to hear the method that will move those immovable mountains in your life and open those blocked pathways that have felt sealed for too long? If your answer is yes, lean back, take a deep and deliberate breath, and listen to this video all the way to the end with the ears of your soul. Because what I am about to share is not merely information, it is a call to awakening. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. If this message speaks to something genuine inside you, subscribe to Carl Jung Philosophy and hit the like button, because what comes next may genuinely change the way you see yourself and the life you are capable of creating. Carl Jung, when he descended into the deepest layers of human psychology, recognized something that most people spend their entire lives never confronting. The reason your desires don't manifest is not that fate has turned its back on you. It is not that you were born without luck, or that you haven't worked hard enough, or that you simply don't deserve what you want. The reason runs far deeper, and it lives entirely within the realm of your own perception. You see the thing you desire as something outside of yourself, something distant, something to be pursued, to be climbed toward, to be earned through struggle and sacrifice. And inside yourself, a quiet but persistent voice keeps repeating, "Maybe one day I'll have it. If I work hard enough, if I push myself far enough, if I sacrifice enough, maybe it will happen." And here is the profound truth that Jung uncovered through his decades of work with the human psyche. It is precisely this perception, this mental posture of chasing something located far away from you, that forms the single greatest blockage standing between you and the life you want. Jung emphasized this again and again in his writings and in his sessions with patients. You must feel as though you already possess what you desire, and you must move through your life from within that state of already having. Don't wait for life to change so that you can finally be happy. Feel the joy first. Experience the fulfillment first. And then watch how life reorganizes itself around that inner reality. This is not a surface-level piece of advice about positive thinking. This is the deep alchemy of consciousness itself. This is the recognition that your inner vibration, the emotional and energetic state you inhabit, determines everything you perceive and experience as external reality. The paradox at the heart of all of this is this: as long as you live with the feeling of not having what you want, you will continue not having it. Because the universe does not give you what you ask for, it gives you what you are. So how do you genuinely believe in something you cannot yet see with your eyes or hold in your hands? How do you feel the reality of something your rational mind keeps insisting does not yet exist? This is exactly where Jung resolves the puzzle through his concept of psychic reality. Jung taught that imagination, the power of genuine inner imagery, is more real than facts. Everything you are currently experiencing as your outer reality is simply the crystallized result of your past feelings, your past thoughts, and your past states of consciousness. What you feel right now, in this present moment, is the seed of the reality you will experience tomorrow. Therefore, if you change the feeling of your being, if you shift the inner state from which you are operating, you change your future. Because the source of your future does not live outside of you. It lives within you, precisely where you have always had complete access to it. Imagination is not a childish game of fantasy. It is a tool of creation and materialization available to you at every single moment of your existence. But there is a critical and subtle distinction that must be understood. When you practice visualization, you must not observe the scene from a distance, like watching a film on a cinema screen from the safety of your seat. You must enter the scene entirely. You must inhabit it from the first-person perspective, feeling it in your body, in your bones, with every sense fully engaged and alive. Let's say you desire to be free from financial burden, or to find the love of your life. If throughout your day you continue feeling indebted and alone, the instruction you are broadcasting to the universe and encoding into your subconscious is precisely this: I am in debt. I am alone. And the universe, like a faithful and completely impartial mirror, will reflect back to you exactly what you are transmitting: more debt, more isolation, more evidence that confirms the inner story you are living from. But if you feel yourself, right now, in this very moment, as someone who is free from that burden, someone who is loved and valued and whole, your entire chemistry begins to shift. Your behavior changes. The way you look at the world changes. The way you respond to circumstances changes. And when you change, the world around you has no choice but to echo something different back to you. Because the world is not responding to your desires. It is reflecting your inner identity, the person you actually are on the inside, beneath all the wanting and the striving and the fear. Carl Jung called this the law of consciousness, and he maintained that it is as universal and as unvarying as the law of gravity itself. You can test this right now. Within just a few minutes, you can witness for yourself how everything inside you begins to shift. But pay close attention to this distinction. If you tell yourself, I am pretending to be wealthy, you will remain exactly that, a person who is pretending. But if you genuinely catch the feeling of abundance, of peace, of wholeness, as though you are waking up into an entirely new reality, then everything begins to change effortlessly and without force. This is not a mind game. This is vibrational work. This is the inner alchemy that Jung described when he said, "The feeling of a desire fulfilled is the door through which that desire enters your reality." In other words, if you want something, you must stop wanting it and start being the person who already has it. The hardest part is only the beginning. The mind resists. It wants to return to its familiar patterns, its well-worn grooves of worry and doubt. But with just a few days of genuine practice, this new inner state becomes your natural way of operating. And everything begins with the simple but extraordinarily powerful 4-minute practice that we are about to explore together. This method, distilled from the teachings of Carl Jung, may appear almost too simple at first glance. You might find yourself thinking, surely something this straightforward cannot produce real change. Because our ego has been conditioned to believe that significant transformation requires significant suffering, that the price of real change must be complex, painful, and hard-earned. But in this practice, there are no complex rituals to master, no rare materials to source, no meaningless phrases to repeat hundreds of times in precise sequence. There is only you. There is your extraordinary power of imagination. And there is the deep feeling of an inner reality that already knows what it is moving toward. The power of this practice comes entirely from that interior source. Everything you need is already layered beneath the surface of who you are. If you can spend just 4 minutes each day genuinely inhabiting the feeling that your desire has already been fulfilled, You begin moving the invisible energy that shapes and arranges matter itself. This is not abstract philosophy. This is a tested and proven system that has rewritten the lives and destinies of countless human beings. Jung called this inner vision because this action is completely independent of external conditions. Even when the outer world appears chaotic and relentless, you can build your own inner paradise within. Now, if you are ready, let us move into the first step of this 4-minute transformation. The first step is retreat and disconnection. Find a quiet place for yourself, a corner where no one will interrupt you, where no notification, no voice, no external demand can reach you. This could be your bedroom with the door closed, a bench beneath a tree in a nearby park. Even the inside of your car in a parking lot will serve perfectly. What matters is not the luxury of the location. What matters is that you can be alone with yourself, genuinely, completely alone. Settle into a comfortable position. Keep your spine upright, but don't hold yourself rigid like a soldier. Take 3 slow and deliberate deep breaths, breathing with full awareness. With each exhale, imagine releasing everything: the accumulated weight of the day, the stress you have been carrying, the expectations others have placed on you, the regrets of your past, the anxieties about your future. Let all of it leave your body with each breath. Allow the sounds of the external world to fade into the background. Let the relentless forward movement of time dissolve for a moment. Simply allow yourself to melt into the silence. Bring your mind to that soft and luminous territory that exists between wakefulness and sleep, that gentle, hazy threshold where ordinary mental resistance loosens and something deeper becomes accessible. Now close your eyes and ask yourself Jung's profoundly transformative question. If my desire were already fulfilled, right now, in this exact moment, what would I feel? Do not rush toward an answer. Do not allow your mind to immediately respond with logical sentences and analytical explanations. Let your body speak. Let your deeper consciousness answer, not in words, but as a state, as a quality of being, as a felt sense of reality. Let's say you want to be free from financial pressure. Imagine it. You have just received news that every debt has been cleared. Your account holds more than enough. You are free. What kind of lightness would you feel expanding in your chest in that moment? How would you breathe when that invisible weight is finally lifted from your shoulders? Would it be joy? Deep and overwhelming gratitude? A profound sense of release? A long exhale of relief after years of holding your breath? Allow that feeling to spread through your entire body like warm light moving through your bloodstream, reaching every cell, every corner of your being. Now create a simple but vivid and specific scene that makes this feeling concrete and real. Perhaps you are holding a document confirming that every debt has been settled. Perhaps you are laughing freely with someone you deeply love on the balcony of a new home. If your desire is love, imagine it is evening. You are holding the hand of the person you love. You can feel the warmth of their hand in your palm. Your eyes meet, and in that gaze there is no fear, no doubt, no quiet anxiety. There is only deep union, only peace, only the quiet certainty of being completely seen and completely loved. If your desire is creative success, experience the moment you see your book on the shelves of a bookstore, or feel the warmth of applause rising toward you from an audience that has been genuinely moved by your work. The most critical point in all of this is something that must be felt rather than simply understood. Do not watch yourself in that scene from the outside as an observer. Be inside the scene. Live the moment from within it. Feel the texture of the chair beneath you. Draw the air of that reality into your lungs. Let the sounds of that world reach your ears. This is not passive visualization. This is full embodied inhabitation of a reality you are actively calling into being. And now the second phase of the practice activates. Anchoring the feeling. Stay inside that feeling for 3 full minutes without asking a single analytical question, without slipping into whether this is working, without attempting to dissect or evaluate the process. Simply repeat inwardly with genuine conviction, "This has already happened. This is already mine. I am living inside this reality right now." Do not force the emotions. Do not manufacture them or push them into existence. Allow your body to respond naturally and organically, because it is not your thinking mind that rewrites reality and initiates the vibrational shift. It is the authentic, unforced response of your body, the felt sense of something being genuinely true that carries the real transformative power. As Jung himself taught, when and how this will manifest in the outer world is not your responsibility. If you have truly felt this on the psychic level, in the full interior reality of your inner world, then it has already been created in the invisible dimension. And everything that is created in the invisible dimension will eventually fall into the visible one. It is only a matter of time. The seed has been placed in the earth. Now it is nature's work to crack it open and allow it to grow. Your task is simply to trust the ground. Now, do you want to learn how to multiply the power of this method exponentially and understand exactly where most people make the critical mistake that destroys everything they have carefully built? Then stay with me, because what comes next is the part that almost no one talks about, and it is the part that makes all the difference. Someone encountering the depth psychology of Carl Jung or these kinds of ancient teachings for the very first time will almost instinctively try to complicate the process. They will immediately ask, which mantra should I recite? At what specific hour should I practice? Do I need to burn incense? Should I be facing a particular direction? But the truth is that the most common and most devastating errors all originate from the same source: the desperate desire to control the outcome. You do not need to perform this perfectly. You simply need to be inside that feeling, as though the thing you desire is already yours. Allow your body, rather than your analyzing mind, to guide the process. Genuine visualization is not the act of forcing yourself to draw a clear mental picture behind closed eyes. Genuine visualization is inhabiting that image with your entire being, living inside it rather than constructing it from the outside. The clarity of the visual image is not what matters. What matters, the only thing that truly matters, is the depth of your belief and the authenticity of the feeling. When you release the compulsion to analyze, to compare yourself with others, to anxiously calculate how long this will take, you connect yourself to the vast and boundless creative intelligence of the universe. And one of the most powerful ways to anchor and amplify this vibrational state is through what Jung considered one of the most sacred and underestimated windows available to human beings: the moments immediately before sleep. Those final minutes before you drift into unconsciousness represent something extraordinary in terms of your access to the deeper mind. Scientifically, this is the period when your brain transitions from beta frequencies, the fast, analytical waves of ordinary waking consciousness, into alpha and then theta frequencies. In this transitional state, the resistance of the ego weakens and begins to dissolve. The critical, doubting guardian of your conscious mind grows quiet, and in that quietness, you gain direct access to the treasure chamber of your subconscious, the part of your mind that stores every belief, every emotional pattern, and every deep conviction about what is possible for you. In these precise moments, floating between wakefulness and sleep, carried gently on the border between two states of consciousness, you must plant the feeling of your desire already fulfilled directly into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. You don't need to construct elaborate scenarios or long and detailed mental narratives. A single vivid scene is more than enough. Simply lying in your bed, feel the moment you received the news that everything shifted. Hear the voice of the person you love saying, "I am here. I am yours." Or simply rest inside that deep and wordless sense of peace, the quiet, profound knowing that says, "I no longer need to struggle. I have arrived. It is done." At the very heart of Jung's teaching lives this single revolutionary instruction: don't try to create something that doesn't exist yet. Make the transition into the state where it already exists. Imagination is the human reflection of divine creative power. And as long as you don't interrupt the process with doubt and second-guessing, everything you hold in genuine imagination with genuine feeling must eventually manifest. This is not a possibility, it is a law. This is precisely why, after completing this 4-minute practice, you must not open your eyes and immediately collapse back into your old, anxious, worried, contracted self. If you greet the morning by rehearsing your problems, complaining about how difficult life is, or poisoning your mind with catastrophic news and fear-based content, you are pulling up with your own hands the seed you so carefully planted the night before. After the practice, simply trust. Stop asking how it will happen or through whose hands it will come. That is not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to preserve the inner feeling of completion, of it already being done, even when nothing in the external world has visibly shifted yet, even when the outer landscape remains completely still and unchanged. This is what genuine faith actually is, not the passive resignation of someone waiting helplessly. It is the active, conscious, unwavering ability to sing songs of victory on the inside while the outside world remains silent. And when you maintain that inner stillness and that inner certainty, events begin reorganizing themselves in the most unexpected and often breathtaking ways. When you combine this evening practice with the energy of genuine gratitude, its power reaches an entirely different magnitude. Don't merely visualize, give thanks, as though the thing you desire has already arrived and taken its place in your life. Say inwardly, "Thank you that this is already part of my reality. Thank you for this peace. Thank you for this fulfillment that I am already living." As you do this, feel your body relaxing even further, the last remaining fragments of resistance melting away like ice in warm water. You are no longer holding on. You are no longer chasing. You are no longer afraid. You are home. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational states available to a human being. Where genuine gratitude lives, fear and lack cannot simultaneously reside. And where fear is absent, where the desperate energy of needing something to happen finally releases its grip, manifestation begins to move. Because you are no longer pleading with the universe to give you something. You are saying, "I have already received it. I accept it. I am grateful for it." And that shift from grasping to receiving, from lack to gratitude, is the shift that changes everything. Now we arrive at one of the most mysterious, least discussed, and yet most vital dimensions of this entire process, the fifth element. The question of why you must never share your desires with others before they have fully crystallized into solid reality. Why silence is not merely useful, but absolutely essential. What Jung described as the hermetic vessel, and what many ancient traditions understood as the principle of energy containment, is the deep energetic reason behind what many cultures have long called the evil eye. This is not superstition. This is an energy law of the highest order. Every word you speak about your desire, before it has hardened into concrete reality, is an energy leak. It is a power drain. When you excitedly tell someone, I am going to do this. I am going to buy this house. I am starting this relationship. I am building this business. You are not simply sharing information. You are releasing outward the very fire that needs to remain contained